Diving in deep to the world of crypto. You're listening to Vorpin AI.
Buckle up, everybody. We're going deep on crypto this week, breaking down all the action from February 17th to the 23rd, 2025. And let me tell you, it was a wild ride.
It certainly was. Definitely not a week for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
No kidding. This weekly crypto market summary we're diving into, well, it's packed with surprises, ups, downs, twists, and turns, enough to make your head spin.
Absolutely. And it really goes to show you just how dynamic this space is. There's always something happening, something to learn, and something to potentially capitalize on.
Exactly. So for anyone just tuning in, get ready to geek out with us as we unpack the biggest stories, the wildest trends, and what it all means for you. Okay, so let's jump right in. One of the most interesting things I saw this week was the buzz around Theta. You know, that decentralized streaming platform aiming to take on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, Theta's been on my radar for a while. I think what's got everyone so excited is their approach. It's all about that peer-to-peer model.
Right, and that's what makes it so different, right?
Exactly. Instead of relying on these massive centralized servers, Theta lets users share their bandwidth. And here's the cool part. They actually get rewarded for it.
So it's like everyone's contributing to the network and everyone benefits.
That's the idea. It's supposed to lead to a more efficient and cheaper streaming experience. Plus, it cuts out the middleman, which is something that always appeals to the crypto crowd.
For sure. But, I mean, talk is cheap, right? Are they actually gaining traction?
Oh, absolutely. This isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea anymore. They've landed some pretty big partnerships, even with some of the biggest names in tech.
Seriously? Like who?
Well, just to name a few, we're talking Samsung, Sony, even Google. These aren't small players. When these kinds of companies get involved, it makes you sit up and take notice.
No kidding. It makes you wonder, could this be the beginning of the end for those centralized streaming giants? Could Theta really shake things up that much?
It's certainly a possibility. I mean, these partnerships lend a lot of credibility to their vision. And imagine a future where content creators have more control. Viewers get a better deal, and these tech giants are all incorporating Theta's technology into their own products. That's a pretty powerful scenario.
It's like we're watching a potential revolution unfold right before our eyes. Okay, so enough about Theta for now. Let's talk about something else that caught my eye. And this one's a bit of a head-scratcher. Shiba Inu, our beloved meme coin, took a bit of a tumble this week. What happened?
Yeah, Shiba Inu definitely had a rough go. There's a lot of selling pressure, which basically means more people were selling than buying, And that, unfortunately, pushed the price down. It couldn't stay above that crucial 0.0002 level that everyone was watching.
So, not great news for anyone holding SIB. But here's where it gets interesting. The report actually mentions a potentially optimistic long-term outlook for Shiba Inu. How does that even make sense after such a downturn?
Right. Well, there are actually a couple of factors that could point to a comeback. One of the big ones is the SHIB burn rate.
Burn rate?
Yeah, it basically means they're permanently removing tokens from circulation, getting rid of them forever. It's like a controlled deflation. As the supply of SA shrinks, the idea is that each remaining token becomes more scarce and potentially more valuable.
Makes sense. So it's not just about the price going up, it's about the underlying value increasing too.
Exactly. It's a long-term strategy.
So are we talking about like a slow and steady climb, or are people expecting another one of those massive SH explosions we've seen in the past?
That's a good question. And honestly, it's hard to predict those kinds of things with certainty, but there is something else we need to consider. Remember the whales? Those big-time crypto holders with tons of influence?
Oh yeah, they can definitely move the market. What are they up to?
Well, we've seen evidence of whale accumulation, which means they're actually buying up a lot of SHIB. And, well, that tends to get people excited.
For sure. I mean, if the big players are betting on SHI, that's got to mean something, right?
Yeah, it definitely suggests they see potential. And historically, we've seen meme coins bounce back pretty strongly during certain period, especially what we call altcoin cycles. Those are times when alternative cryptocurrencies see big price gains. So these whales might be positioning themselves for another one of those rallies.
So is it a gamble or a hidden gem? The crypto world never fails to keep us guessing. All right, moving on to Avalanche. It seems like it's stuck in a bit of a rut. What's the story there?
The main factor for Avalanche right now is that whale activity has slowed down. Without those big players making big moves, the price is pretty much stalled out. It's like the market's just waiting for some kind of signal, something to trigger a move in one direction or the other.
So it's a bit of a waiting game. This consolidation could be a sign of something big brewing, but the lack of momentum is a little unnerving.
It's a tough call, honestly. I mean, Avalanche is at a real crossroads.
So what's more likely, a breakout or a breakdown?
It's really hard to say. I'd say it hinges on those whales. If they start buying back in, that could signal a shift in momentum, maybe a move to the upside. But if they continue to sit this one out, or even worse, start selling, that could lead to a further decline. It's a nail biter.
Whale watching it is then. Okay, let's shift gears again. The report highlighted a massive jump in TRON's USDT supply. We're talking 1,000% increase. What's going on there?
That's a huge jump, and it tells us a couple of important things. First, TRON is clearly gaining traction in the stablecoin market. USDT, remember, it's pegged to the US dollar, so it's really important for trading and transferring value in the crypto ecosystem.
Gotcha. So more USDT on TRON means more action happening on that network.
Exactly. And this also points to TRON's growing role in DeFi.
DeFi, for anyone who's not familiar, that's decentralized finance, right?
That's right. Think of it as a whole new world of financial tools and services built on blockchain technology.
And TRON's becoming a bigger player in this space.
Absolutely. The more USDT on TRON, the easier it is for people to participate in things like lending, borrowing, and other DeFi activities. It's all about access and liquidity.
So TRON is kind of like a gateway to this whole new financial ecosystem. Fascinating. Okay, next up, let's talk Polkadot. The report mentioned it's teetering on a pretty crucial support level of $3.74. What makes this level so important?
Well, support levels, they act like a floor for the price. If a lot of buyers jump in at that level, it can stop the price from falling further.
So it's a battleground, basically.
Kind of, yeah. And right now, everyone's watching to see if DOT will hold above $3.74. There's a lot of attention on it, and we're seeing increasing open interest in futures contracts, which means traders are making bets on whether it will go up or down.
Sounds like it could go either way. What are the factors that will decide whether it bounces back or keeps falling?
Well, there's the technical side, looking at charts and patterns and all that, but there's also the sentiment side, which is all about the overall mood and expectations of the traders. If it bounces back from $3.74, that could trigger some positive feelings and maybe lead to further gains. But if it falls below that level, we could see a wave of selling that pushes it even lower.
So Polkadot's at a pivotal moment. Fingers crossed it holds strong. All right, last but not least, let's talk about Aptos. It's been on a bit of a roller coaster ride this week, swinging back and forth between bullish and bearish moves. Is there any clear direction emerging for Aptos?
Honestly, it's been a bit all over the place. We saw some price recovers, which is positive, but the overall momentum just hasn't been there. There hasn't been enough buying to suggest a definite upward trend.
So is the feeling around Aptos more bullish or bearish?
I'd say cautiously bullish. There are some promising signs, but we really need to see more buying activity for a true upward trajectory. If it can break through certain resistance levels, those price points that act like ceilings, that would be a much stronger signal.
So for now, it's a wait-and-see game for Aptos. But hey, at least we have one bright spot in this crazy market. The report highlighted SEI's impressive 18% surge this week. What fueled that jump?
What impressed me about SEI is that it showed real resilience. It broke through some key resistance levels, which means people were willing to buy even though it had struggled before. And overall, investor sentiment seems to be improving around SEI. Maybe they're seeing something they like, whether it's the technology, the team, or just a feeling that it's undervalued.
So could this be the start of a major SEI rally?
It's definitely possible, but it's still early, and there are some hurdles to overcome. There's resistance at 0.33 cents, and another one at something called the 1D EMA 200, which is a technical indicator. These are like potential ceilings for the price. Traders are feeling cautiously optimistic, but we need to see sustained strength and a break above those levels before we can call it a true rally.
So SEI's got potential, but we'll have to see if it can keep up the momentum. Wow, what a week in crypto. From Theta's partnerships to Shiba Inu's whales, Avalanche's crossroads, TRON's DeFi moves, Polkadot's crucial level, Aptos volatility, and SEI's surge, it just never stops.
I know, right? It's a wild ride, but that's what makes it so exciting. And I think the big takeaway this week is that price is only one part of the story. You got to look beyond the charts and really try to understand the forces driving these trends.
You got to connect the dots, right?
Exactly. Connect the dots between the tech, the psychology of the market, the global events, everything.
Well said. So to everyone listening, stay curious and keep learning. The more you understand the crypto world, the better equipped you'll be to navigate it.
Absolutely.
All right, that's all the time we have for this week's Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.
See you then.